really get down to the heart of the matter and journal your way through knowing what you need for self-care. Focus on what you can do for you. If it's 5 minutes of meditation, if it's turning your headphones on and just listening to good music for a minute, if it's literally just switching seats in the room you're in to get a different perspective of what's going on, that's enough of a physical shift in your perspective that it's going to awaken within you the cue that, hey, I need to focus on me. And you can do that with drinking water. You can do that with taking a walk. There are so many different ways. And let's get into that right now. Let's talk about the different ways we can take a break. Taking a break could be stepping away from screens, stopping the scroll. If you're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, Snapchat, making sure that you set limits. There are controls on your phone, and if you need to do that for yourself, that's a huge act of self-care. I have it. I have time limits on all my social medias, and I'm not on Facebook. I hate Facebook. I think it's caused way much more drama than it's worth. But I have limits on the social media apps that I'll engage in because I know that too much is not a good thing, and I'll just need another break later. Taking a break could be just breathing, simple in and out, watching your breath, taking nice deep inhales, nice long exhales, just blowing it out, blowing the tension out. Taking a break could be crying and punching some pillows. Whatever you need to do. It could be taking a nap in the middle of the day. Now, a lot of my friends are going to say, hey, Chris, I do not have time to take a nap. Well, you have an hour to scroll TikTok, don't you? Right? Like, you get to choose what you do with your time. And maybe TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and those things, those are a break for you. But if you're really having a hard time prioritize taking care of yourself, social media is not the kind of break you need right now. You probably need a break from it to internally figure out what it is you actually need for self-care. Maybe taking a break is hiring a babysitter and just having a night off, not where you clean the house and do a bunch of things that you've been meaning to do, but just having a night off. Just taking a step away from your current circumstances. And if you really want to supercharge these breaks that you're taking, plan them ahead of time. Take a weekend trip alone. Be by yourself with no expectations. Just get quiet and start reconnecting with yourself. And what you're going to find is when you start to do that, when you make yourself the priority, when you make the time for self-care and you take breaks from, whether it be from work, whether it be from a toxic relationship, whether it just be from a pattern that you've created for yourself, when you take these breaks and you go be alone, it's time that you can listen to yourself to see what is serving you, what is not. And you will come back full force knowing that the things you want to do, you're choosing to do. And you're able to do them with self-care in mind. And if you are re-engaging, there's a way that you can re-engage with your schedule, with your lifestyle in a self-care oriented way. And you do that by going slow. So, for example, once you've taken a break, even if it's that 15-minute break at work, or you take a 5-day jaunt away, whatever it is, either way, make sure that you ease back into doing things. Maybe decide after your 15-minute break, you're just going to read one email and fix that problem, and then you're going to take an assessment and figure out what you're going to do next before you're just hours into your job. Maybe if you've taken that weekend away, you drive the long way home with the radio off, just sifting through your thoughts and being there with yourself. And when you start to get back into things, you just do one thing at a time. Now, this is really important for my friends out there that are very overwhelmed. And if you find yourself in a constant state of overwhelm, I highly recommend that you talk to somebody and really start to think about, is there a possibility that my feelings of overwhelm are not just the regular everyday overwhelm that everyone experiences, but that there might be something bigger going on. And I'm going to actually talk about this in depth in an upcoming episode about ADHD. I went my entire life having no idea that I had ADHD. And I resisted talking to anyone about it or getting on medication because I didn't think it applied to me. And once I started a medication that really helped and I really figured it out, it was a game changer. I bawled my eyes out, having no idea that this whole time I had been working at such a deficit. And there is a freedom in that kind of support. So if you're really feeling that over and over and over again, no matter how many self-care tips you follow, no matter how much action or effort you put into it, it might be time to talk to a professional and really sort this out for your own overall self-care. It's so important. Another thing that you need to do when you're re-engaging after you've taken these breaks is make sure that you plan your next break. And this applies to if you're at work, if you're in a relationship, whatever it might be, if there's a habit you're trying to break, it's time to start planning ahead when you're going to take time away. Because it gives you a sense of something to look forward to, which is going to start shifting your perspective. You're going to start thinking of ways that you can take care of yourself during that quote-unquote break. And these kinds of practices are essential to being able to accomplish all the things you want to accomplish and feel good about yourself and change that bullshit story and the way that you're talking to yourself inside your head. You know, you've got to watch your mouth. You've got to watch how you talk about yourself. And if you don't take a break from your everyday cycle, you're not going to see it. And so it's really imperative that you plan your next break, that you build in some kind of self-care routine. And that's what this show is all about. So today, before we wrap up this episode, I want you right now to commit to yourself to one act of self-care, one thing that you can do for yourself, and one break that you're going to take, and write it down. Text your friend. Hold yourself accountable. Email me with your break plans. It's Chris, K-R-I-S, at selfcareissexy.com. I'd love to hear how you're nurturing yourself through taking a break from whatever it is you need to take a break from. All right, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have a story you'd like to share and you want to be on the show, please email me. It's Chris, K-R-I-S, at selfcareissexy.com. Okay, we've got really great content coming your way, so stay tuned. And remember that self-care is sexy. We're giving you permission to put yourself first.